Look at question 20. What do you notice is different about this one compared to other ones? As y's. What difference do you think y makes compared to that? No difference. Okay, so that's good. You look at this then, let's just do this one together. What does it mean, by the way? What does it mean when you've got a negative here and a negative there? Does it mean if this is negative? So it's going to be a positive there and a negative. Okay, two brackets. One will be positive. What do we know then? So this is y squared. What goes in the brackets? So that's going to be y and y. And we know that if this is negative, what do we know about these two numbers? Negative is no. So we need to factorize 64. What multiplies to make 64?
8.
Okay. 8 times 8.
So
1 times 4. Does 2 times 32.
4 probably.
Yeah, because you notice that if we do 8 times 8, if you divide the 8 by 2, you get 4. And if you multiply the 8 by 2, you get 16. So you can just so 4 times 16. Is that the one we need, by the way? 4 times 16? Because that looks like got thing 12 here. So it's going to be negative 16 and positive 4. Plus minus 16 does make so. Right, so that should be fine from yesterday, following on from yesterday's work. The only difference is there with y's, but it doesn't actually change what we do. As long as you don't write your answer now as x plus 4 and x minus 16, because that doesn't make any sense, right? It's not x's, it's y's. Right? There are different letters, that's not a problem. Methods are the same. All right, and what we want to do today is actually look at when we've got more than one. Well, in this case, y squared. Do you think having more than one x squared or y squared is going to make a huge difference? I'd say I'm going to give myself a bit more space. So what is it? 2y squared. Remember it was 7y plus. So we've got this back right. All right. What do you think then? Do you think we can do exactly the same thing? Say, okay, brackets, brackets. Is this going to be a y and a y? Think? No, y. 2y and 2y. Don't write it down. Let's just have a look. So we think it's 2y and 2y. And then we said, what's it going to be? Two numbers that multiply to make 15. What are they?
5
5 times 3.
1 times
1 times 15, one positive, one negative. This is a
No.
positive, so we think that the larger one is positive. Okay, so do we go with +5 and -3?
How come it's, yeah,
Don't write it down.
yeah, I think the 5 is negative in the
Well, the rule we've got is if this is a positive, the bigger one must be positive. But let's just check something before you write any of this down. What happens if we expand this? So let me just check that 2y plus 5, got the grids, and then I'm going to do 2y plus 5. No, it wasn't plus 5, it was that 2y minus 3. Okay. So you've been using the grid method, so I'm going to use the grid method just to check if we're correct or not. Okay. So first of all, -3 times 5 is -15. I am good, I'm happy with that. Alright? Don't write this down again, like I said. Yes, just sit and watch and then soak in. Alright? What is 2y times 5? It's 10y. What is -3 times 2y? -6y. And then 2y is times 2y. 4y squared. Alright. What do you think? Yes. Because 2 times 2 is also, you're not writing it down, so then it's like,
Can you put that,
put it out.
like, write it out, the answer?
So now to write all this out, so it would be 4y squared plus 10y's minus 6y's minus 15. That would be 4y squared plus 4y's minus 15. So this is all right, but these are wrong, right?
Oh,
So that's not right, basically. That's why I said don't write it down. Is that why you're not getting it? Because it doesn't look right. Well, that's what
no,
it's-
I was trying to figure out how to put it.
So 10y is positive 10 minus 6. Yes. Why is it?
Because,
Because look, we've just shown if you re-expand it into expanded form, this, originally we were saying this and this are the same thing, right?
it's not.
But it's not. And how did we show it's not? By doing the opposite we've been doing to start with, and showing that if I do that and get that, and that's not that, I must have done something wrong. That's why I said don't write it out. Right? Okay, so let's have another go. So that obviously didn't work in the same way. Now that kind of makes sense in that I've said this is a new thing. Makes it slightly more difficult. Alright. But I'm going to go back to my grid. Alright, I'm going to use the grid because we're and what we're going to do is we're going to say, right, this does need to be 2y squared, right? This needs to be minus 15. Okay. Alright, now here was the first mistake. What multiplies to make 2y squared? Y squared and 2. But there's a problem for that, which is we want a y in each bracket. So how can I adjust that? So if we did y there and we did 2y there, does that give me 2y squared? Right again, Marley, I need you to be focusing on the board as part of the discussion, yeah? Yeah, are you happy with y and 2y? Alright. What makes negative 15 again? Oh, we had that before, which is negative 5 times 3,
I thought it was, wasn't it?
Or- positive 5 times negative. Now, before, what we did was we had to think that if this is positive, then we knew the big one was positive. But actually, with the more than 1x squared, or y squared, what we've got, it does make us have to think a little bit more. So, the important squares are here, alright? This one and this one are harder to work out. But this one and this one, super easy. Alright? I've got to do what we call, I've got to split this term up. It's called splitting the term, splitting the middle term. Correctly using the numbers and lining it up with the y's too. Now let me tell you why we have to do that. We have to think potentially of more than one option. Because I'm going to use these numbers. Which pair should I use? 5 times negative 3. Okay, which one would you like to put on this side? We put the positive 5, and this one is the negative 3. Okay? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's try, because it's a good, very good question. Let's try it if I put the grid out. So again, I'm happy that this is 2y squared, this is minus 15. We've decided that this is y and 2y because that's the only way of getting 2y squared, right? Well, what if we put, what did you say? Negative 3 and positive 5. And that's ignoring the negative 5 and positive 3 at the moment. Well, let's see what happens if we work out these two now. So what do I get? 2y's times negative 3 is 6y's. What is it over here? 2y's times 5 is actually positive 10y's. Okay, what's positive 5 times y? 5y, positive 5y. What's negative 3 times y? Okay, so you can see if we swap those around, we actually get different values in those squares. So what happens if we then write it out? So this one becomes 2y squared minus 6y plus 5y minus 15. And this one is 2y squared plus 10y minus 3y minus 15. So this, collect it together, you get 2y squared, so minus 6 plus 5. You're adding, it's negative 1y, yeah? Minus y, minus 15. And this one would be 2y squared, positive 10 minus 3, plus 7y minus 15. Okay. So, is either of those correct? Let's just have a look where we start. We've got 2y squared plus 7y minus 15. So this one, having it this way round, did not give us the right answer. But having it that way round has given us the right answer. Yes.
How did you get it?
No, because if you look at it, look, we've done 2 times 3, whereas this one we're only doing 1 times 3, so it is. But that's got nothing really to do with it, and why the problem is solved the way it is. But I mean, it's why? Because 2 times 5 or 1 times 5, obviously 2 times something will give you twice as big. No. the different numbers. Mouse. Yeah, and divide by 2, you get divide, so that's 3. I think what you're doing is you're trying to spot something that's not really there or matters. You do notice that 10 and 5, 6 and 3, but that's because we've got 2y and y. Yeah? So instead of doing 2y's times 5, we're doing 2y's times 3. So the 3 gets doubled in this one, but the 5 gets doubled in that one. Yeah, that's it. But this one's right. Now let me just show you that we got quite lucky here that we picked this one rather than the other one. So we didn't have more work now to do. Both of these might have been wrong and we would have had to have checked the other one. So potentially I might have to go through 4 possibilities. All right, now this kind of one gets easier as you get more and more experience with it, the more you practice with it. But it does take a little bit more thinking. Remember we got to the other ones, we've got them quite quick. But with these ones, we're a bit like, okay. Well, I guess at this stage, let me have a pause and I'll make you write it down. So 2x times 1 is plus 2x, and 2 times x is plus 2x. Yeah? Do those two, sorry, I put my yellow thing in the wrong place. That's the one. Do those two add up to make the 5x? No, so that means I know that this can't be plus 2 there and can't be plus 1 there. Alright? So that means it must be plus 1 and plus 2. Why do I know it must be? Because that's the only other option, because this one doesn't have any option. So what is 2x times 2? 4x. X times 1 is 1x. What's 4x plus an x? Which is what I want.
The bottom one is just plus x.
Yeah, because it's 1 times x.
What if I x plus 1?
That'd be brackets here, look. X plus 2. Brackets 2x plus 1.
It's like you forget what's on the outside.
Oh, here's a good one for you. Takes up another step. Feel free to write it in x's if you like. So 3y squared plus 10y minus x. Still not too bad, still not too challenging one. Same method applies. Now, because, I mean, there are ones that are easy, like if we have 2x squared, that can only be done by 2x times x. 3x squared can only be done by 3x times x. However, if I have a 4x squared, it could be 4x times x or 2x times 2x. So that's why I say 2's and 3's are easy enough. 5x squared is equally only 5x times x. 6x, right, squared could be 6x times x, but also 2x times 3x. So these are the ones you will normally get because there's only one option. Right? Occasionally you'll get one like this where there are one option. So we're on 3y squared, so we know it's 3y times 1. It's the only way to do it. Now that leads us to think, how do I make -8? Eight times -1. So we could do, well, let me just write -8 times +1. We could do -4 times 2. We could do 4 times -2. So it's got to be one of those options. It's the only way of making -8. So which one's it going to be? As Sienna said, none of those add to make 10, but that's because we've got 3 y's instead of 1. That changes that bit. What we've got to do is think, which combination with 1s and 3s is going to make +10? What do you think? What should we go with? We might have to try a few options. We may get it wrong first time. Like I said, with experience, you'll be like, I know which one it is straight away. I know. -4 times 2. That's the one I would pick. I'm not saying it's right, but it's the one I would pick. Now, which way round do we get it? -4 or 2 up here? Do you want to put the -4 there? Well, we don't yet. I know the -4 or the 2 has to go there. Sienna told me to put the -4, so I've done it. Now, if she's lucky, she's got it right. If she's unlucky, got it wrong. Might have even got this wrong. Let's just check. Let's see if this guides us. So we've got 3y's times -4, which is -12y. Are we already thinking something's going wrong? We want +10. That's too bigger. And if I do 2y, that's +2y. Add those together and you get -10y. What do you mean by the other way? Flip the 2 and the 4. How about that? Sienna's on it. This is the one we picked. That didn't. What about this one? If we then kept it as +4, but -2 instead, why is that going to work? Well, because this becomes +12y, and this becomes -2y. So I actually got the numbers the correct way round, but I got the signs wrong. I picked the wrong one to start with. Now, I will be perfectly honest, when you said this one, I was like, yeah, that's it. I thought that was one I would pick, but I would have realised in the same way that we've done, we worked out. So you've just got to have that checking, yeah? Yeah, still works, right? But they just don't add up, do they? That's what says. So what are the brackets then? What's the final answer? Yep, there you go. The answer then is what's outside. You figured out what they are. They're the 2 brackets. What is your plan? Six. Remember I said here that you've got more than one option. That could lead you to lots of different ones. But maybe we'll leave that one for now. Seven x squared, 8y squared, 24, 6, they ended on some pretty tough ones. I can get you though to do the 7, because there's only one way of making 7x squared. Have a go at the 7x squared plus 8x plus 1. Have a go at it. See what you can do of it.